Right now, at this very second, two organs the size of your fist are doing something that no machine on earth can fully replicate. They are processing your blood, cleaning it, balancing it, protecting it. And they have been doing this every single minute of every single day since before you were even born. Most people will go their entire lives without ever truly appreciating what these organs do for them, until the day they stop working. And by that point, the damage is already done. I am here today to make sure that does not happen to you. My name is Dr. Richard Alston, and welcome to Dr. Healthcore. Today we are going to explore one of the most extraordinary organs in the human body, the kidneys, from the inside out. Their anatomy, their functions, their hidden roles that most doctors never take the time to explain, and what you can do starting today to protect them for the rest of your life. Get comfortable. This is a video you are going to want to watch all the way through. Let's start with something simple. Where are your kidneys, and what do they actually look like? Because if I asked most people to point to them right now, the majority would point to the wrong place entirely. People tend to point toward the front of the body, somewhere around the midsection. But your kidneys are actually located in the back of your body, behind the lining of your abdominal cavity, in a region called the retroperitoneal space. They sit on either side of your spine, tucked just beneath your lower ribcage. If you reach both hands around to your lower back, just above your hips, and press gently on either side of your spine, that is roughly where they live. Now, your right kidney sits just slightly lower than your left. That is not a mistake of nature. That is the liver, your body's largest internal organ, occupying so much space on the upper right side that it gently pushes the right kidney downward to make room. Even your organs practice good spatial awareness. Light smile. In terms of size, each kidney is approximately 4 to 5 inches long, 2 to 3 inches wide, and about an inch thick, about the size and shape of a computer mouse. And yet inside each one of those compact, unassuming structures lives a filtration system of breathtaking complexity. Let's go inside. The outer layer of the kidney is called the renal cortex, renal simply being the Latin-derived medical term for anything related to the kidneys. Beneath the cortex lies the renal medulla, which is organized into triangular structures called renal pyramids. These pyramids funnel processed fluid inward toward the renal pelvis, a funnel-shaped collecting space at the center of the kidney, which then drains downward through a tube called the ureter into your bladder. But the true functional unit of the kidney, the structure where all the real work happens, is something far too small to see with the naked eye. It is called a nephron, and each kidney contains approximately 1 million of them. Pause. Let the number land 1 million microscopic filtration units in each kidney, operating simultaneously, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, for your entire lifetime. Each nephron begins with a tiny knot of capillaries called a glomerulus, which sits inside a cup-shaped structure called Bowman's capsule. Blood is pushed through the glomerulus under pressure, and the fluid that filters out enters the Bowman's capsule and travels down a long, winding tubule, where the kidney makes precise decisions about what to reabsorb back into the bloodstream and what to send onward as urine. This system is so exquisitely designed that when we try to replicate it with dialysis machines, we can only approximate a fraction of what a healthy kidney does naturally. The engineering is simply beyond what we have been able to match. Now let's talk about function, and I want to be thorough here, because this is where most videos fall short. They tell you the kidneys filter your blood, and leave it at that. But that is like saying the heart pumps. Technically true. Profoundly incomplete. Your kidneys perform at least 6 distinct critical functions, and every single one of them is essential to your survival. Let's go through each one. The first and most well-known function is blood filtration. Every single day, your kidneys filter approximately 200 liters of blood. To put that in perspective, the average adult body contains about 5 liters of blood in total. That means your kidneys filter the equivalent of your entire blood supply roughly 40 times every 24 hours. They take everything circulating through your bloodstream, waste products from cellular metabolism, excess nutrients, medications, environmental toxins, hormones that have done their job and are no longer needed, and they sort through all of it. What your body needs, they return to circulation. What your body doesn't need becomes urine. Of those 200 liters filtered, only about 1 to 2 liters actually leave the body as urine each day. The rest, the water, the electrolytes, the glucose, the amino acids your body needs, gets reclaimed and sent back where it belongs. The precision of this sorting process is staggering. The second function is fluid balance, and this one is easier to appreciate when you think about your daily life. When you drink a large glass of water, your blood volume rises slightly. Your kidneys detect the change and immediately increase urine output to bring fluid levels back to normal. When you are dehydrated, when you have been exercising in the heat, or you haven't had enough to drink, your kidneys detect the drop in blood volume and respond by conserving water, producing less urine, holding on to every drop they can to protect your cells and your blood pressure. This dynamic, continuous adjustment, expand, contract, happens inside you all day long without any conscious effort on your part. It is why you can drink a cup of coffee, a bottle of water, and a glass of juice within an hour, and not experience any dramatic physical consequence. Your kidneys are managing the volume of everything, in real time, constantly. Beat the third function surprises most people: blood pressure regulation. We tend to think of blood pressure as purely a heart issue, but your kidneys are one of the most powerful blood pressure regulators in your entire body. And they do it through a hormonal cascade called the renin-angiotensin-aldosterone system. Here is how it works. When your kidneys sense that blood pressure is falling, perhaps because you are dehydrated or because you stood up too quickly, they release a hormone called renin. Renin sets off a chain reaction that causes your blood vessels to constrict and signals your body to retain sodium and water. Both of these things raise blood pressure. When pressure is too high, the kidneys can suppress this system and encourage the body to shed fluid. It is a bidirectional pressure valve, built directly into your kidneys, that has been keeping your cardiovascular system stable your whole life. This is precisely why kidney disease and hypertension are so deeply intertwined. When the kidneys are damaged, this regulatory mechanism breaks down, and blood pressure often becomes nearly impossible to control, regardless of how many medications a patient takes. The kidneys are not innocent bystanders in high blood pressure. In many cases, they are the root cause. Fourth function: electrolyte balance. Sodium, potassium, calcium, phosphorus, magnesium, bicarbonate. These are not just minerals you read about on the side of a cereal box. These are the electrical and chemical signals that allow your body to function. Your heart uses potassium and calcium to beat in a coordinated rhythm. Your muscles, every muscle, including your diaphragm, the muscle you use to breathe, depend on precise electrolyte concentrations to contract and relax properly. Your nerve cells transmit signals by moving sodium and potassium across their membranes thousands of times per second. Every one of these processes requires electrolyte levels in your blood to stay within an incredibly narrow range. Your kidneys are the gatekeepers of that range. They absorb what is deficient, excrete what is excess, and make micro-adjustments around the clock. When kidneys fail and this balance collapses, the consequences are immediate and severe: cardiac arrhythmias, muscle paralysis, respiratory failure. The quiet, invisible work your kidneys do maintaining electrolyte balance is, quite literally, what keeps your heart beating in a normal rhythm right now as you watch this. Fifth, and this is the one that most surprises my patients, your kidneys are hormone-producing organs. They are not just filters, they are also endocrine glands. And the two hormones they produce are ones you cannot live without. The first is erythropoietin, commonly abbreviated as EPO. When your kidneys detect that oxygen levels in your blood are dropping, they secrete erythropoietin as a signal to your bone marrow. Make more red blood cells. More red blood cells means more hemoglobin, which means more oxygen-carrying capacity throughout your body. This is the same biological mechanism that endurance athletes try to exploit when they train at high altitude. Their kidneys sense lower oxygen levels and respond by boosting red blood cell production. When kidneys are damaged and stop producing adequate amounts of EPO, the result is anemia, persistent fatigue, weakness, shortness of breath, brain fog, that cannot be corrected simply by eating more iron or taking supplements. The problem is not the raw materials. The problem is the signal has gone quiet. The second hormone is the active form of vitamin D. Here is something most people do not know. The vitamin D you get from sunlight and food is not yet biologically usable. It first has to be converted by your liver into an intermediate form, and then, crucially, it travels to your kidneys, where it is converted into its fully active form, calcitriol. Only in this form can vitamin D do its job, promoting calcium absorption in the intestines, maintaining strong bones, supporting immune function, and regulating cell growth. Patients with chronic kidney disease frequently develop severe bone disease and immune dysfunction, not because they are vitamin D deficient in the traditional sense, but because their kidneys can no longer activate the vitamin D they already have. Pause. Let the complexity register. And the sixth function, the one that quietly holds everything together, is pH regulation. Your blood must maintain a pH between 7.35 and 7.45. That is an extraordinarily narrow window. A drop below 7.35 is called acidosis. A rise above 7.45 is called alkalosis. Either condition, if sustained, disrupts enzyme function across virtually every system in your body. And the challenge is that your metabolism is constantly producing acid, carbon dioxide from cellular respiration, lactic acid from exercise, acids from protein breakdown. Your body generates this acid load continuously, every second of every day. Your kidneys are responsible for excreting that acid in the urine, removing hydrogen ions from the blood, and simultaneously reabsorbing bicarbonate, your blood's primary chemical buffer, back into circulation to neutralize whatever acid remains. They do this in close coordination with your lungs, which expel carbon dioxide, another acid, with every breath you exhale. Together, your kidneys and your lungs are the two great acid-base regulators of the human body. When kidneys fail and acid accumulates, the resulting metabolic acidosis accelerates muscle wasting, weakens bones, accelerates cardiovascular disease, and impairs brain function. The kidneys do not just clean your blood. They maintain the very chemistry that makes life possible. Now I want to talk about something that I believe is equally important: what threatens your kidneys, and what you can do right now to protect them. Because 37 million Americans are currently living with chronic kidney disease. That is 1 in 7 adults. And the majority of them had no idea their kidneys were in trouble until they had already lost a significant portion of their function. Kidneys are famously resilient. They compensate silently for a long time, adapting, adjusting, working harder with fewer functional nephrons, before they show obvious outward signs of distress. By the time fatigue, swelling, changes in urination, or shortness of breath appear, kidney function may already be substantially reduced. This is why kidney disease is often called a silent disease. Not because it is rare, because it is quiet. The leading causes of kidney damage in America are diabetes and high blood pressure, two conditions that together account for roughly 75% of all kidney failure cases in this country. Chronically elevated blood sugar damages the delicate capillaries of the glomeruli, those tiny filtration knots inside each nephron, gradually scarring them until they can no longer filter effectively. Chronically elevated blood pressure forces blood through the kidney's filtration system at pressures it was not designed to sustain, progressively wearing down the nephrons over years and decades. If you have either of these conditions, protecting your kidneys is not optional, it is urgent. Tight blood sugar control, blood pressure management, and regular kidney function monitoring are not suggestions. They are the difference between a manageable chronic condition and dialysis. Direct eye contact moment. Beyond diabetes and hypertension, there are habits and exposures that damage the kidneys that most people are completely unaware of. Chronic dehydration, simply not drinking enough water, forces the kidneys to concentrate urine to dangerous levels over time, increasing the risk of kidney stones and gradually impairing function. Excessive use of over-the-counter non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, NSAIDs, medications like ibuprofen, naproxen, and aspirin, is one of the most common and most overlooked causes of kidney damage in older adults. These medications reduce blood flow to the kidneys and can cause direct injury to the tubules, particularly when taken regularly over long periods or when taken while dehydrated. A high-sodium diet chronically elevates blood pressure and forces the kidneys to work harder to excrete excess salt. A very high-protein diet, particularly from animal sources, increases the acid and waste load the kidneys must process. Smoking directly damages the blood vessels that supply the kidneys. And chronic, unmanaged stress raises cortisol levels, which over time contributes to both high blood pressure and inflammation, both of which accelerate kidney aging. None of these are dramatic single events. They are quiet, cumulative, and almost entirely preventable. So what can you do? The answer is more straightforward than most people expect. Drink enough water, not obsessively, not excessively, but consistently. A general guide is to aim for urine that is pale yellow rather than dark amber. If your urine is consistently dark, you are consistently dehydrated, and your kidneys are working under chronic stress. Manage your blood pressure, know your numbers, and take action if they are consistently above 130/80. Manage your blood sugar. If you have diabetes or prediabetes, treat it seriously, because the kidneys are among the first organs damaged by poor glucose control. Be cautious with pain medications, talk to your doctor about alternatives, and never take NSAIDs regularly without medical supervision. Eat a balanced diet that is not excessively high in sodium or animal protein. And most importantly, get your kidney function tested. This requires only a simple blood test measuring something called creatinine, along with a calculation of your estimated glomerular filtration rate, your eGFR. This single number tells you what percentage of your kidney function remains. It is available through any routine blood panel, and it costs almost nothing. If you have never had this number checked, please ask your doctor for it at your next visit. You may be one of the 37 million Americans whose kidneys are struggling silently, and you deserve to know. I want to leave you with something I tell every patient I see. Your kidneys have never asked anything of you. They have filtered 200 liters of your blood every day without complaint. They have balanced your electrolytes, stabilized your blood pressure, activated your vitamins, produced your hormones, and maintained the pH of your blood, all without a single conscious thought from you, every day of your life. All I am asking you to do today is learn their names, understand what they do, and take one small step toward protecting them, whether that is drinking one more glass of water today, scheduling a blood test, or sharing this video with someone you love who needs to hear it. Because the kindest thing you can do for the organs that have kept you alive is to finally start paying attention to them. Warm close. Hold the moment. Thank you for being here with me today. If this video gave you something valuable, please hit that like button. It helps this channel reach more people who need this information. Subscribe to Dr. Healthcore if you haven't already, and ring the notification bell so you never miss a new video. Every week we are here breaking down the science of your body in a way that is clear, accurate, and actually useful. Coming up next, the early warning signs of kidney disease that most people ignore for years, and the foods that are quietly damaging your kidneys every single day. I will see you there. Take care of your body. It is the only one you will ever have.